Good morning, Vice Chair Cooper and members of the board. Even as we are currently experiencing winter weather, I want to discuss LCRA's wildfire mitigation and response. As you know, safety is our top priority and a core value. LCRA has numerous measures in place to help prevent, detect, and mitigate damage from wildfires. A good example is our transmission system. LCRA's Transmission Service Corporation designs and builds transmission infrastructure to withstand high winds and mitigate fire risk. Crews regularly inspect and maintain infrastructure and manage vegetation around power lines. We use additional strategies to help ensure the safety of the public, our employees, and LCRA property. Operating a safe and reliable transmission electric system requires continuous monitoring of transmission structures and equipment to determine if response is required and when to take action. To prepare for fire risk, LCRA and LCRA TSC have established operational and emergency response plans that guide our response to fire dangers. We are part of a network of first responders that will assist if a fire starts on or near our property. Employees at our System Operations and Control Center, or known as SOC, along with our emergency management and safety teams, monitor weather and wildfire conditions. Employees of the SOC collaborate with the transmission field operators to determine if preemptive outages are needed to help prevent fire and coordinate with the Electric Reliability Council of Texas as required. These teams maintain consistent communication with state, county, and local agencies to coordinate wildfire prevention and response efforts. We follow regular maintenance schedules to help ensure transmission equipment is in optimal condition and right to clear vegetation that could interfere with the safe and reliable operation of our transmission lines, minimizing fire risk. When cleaning land with heavy equipment, employees in additional vehicles lead and follow the heavy equipment to watch for sparks or fire risk. Each vehicle contains at least one fire extinguisher as well. Our Natural Resources Conservation Team manages LCRA's land to reduce the risk of wildfires in our parks and throughout LCRA property. This includes reducing encroachment by the types of plants that could create dangerous fuel for wildfires. During elevated fire danger days, LCRA postpones certain types of work to avoid potential fire hazards. If a transmission asset faces a fire risk, we take targeted measures, such as disabling the automated operation of the affected lines. In more critical situations, when fire approaches on the right-of-way or threats to impact our lines, we can de-energize the entire line to mitigate risk and to protect surrounding areas. Together, these practices demonstrate that LCRA remains committed to prioritizing safety, preventing injuries, protecting property, and safeguarding lives. Next, I'd like to share a few highlights of how LCRA will continue serving Texas this year and in the future. As you know, pun completely ended, we're moving full steam ahead on the new timber power plant we're building in Caldwell County. The plant's 2 units provide, about 380 megawatts of power, which is enough power to provide more than 100,000 homes during periods of peak demand. The first unit is on track to be operational in 2025, and the second unit is scheduled to be operational in 2026. In addition to this, we're looking at other opportunities to add power to our portfolio to help support our growing state. We're also working to serve Texas by continuing to build, upgrade, and expand our transmission infrastructure. Over the next 5 years, we plan to invest more than $4 billion in transmission capital projects to support the safety, reliability, and resilience of the grid. And we expect that amount to grow with the addition of a large project such as those in the Permian Basin. On the water side, we're continuing to invest in new supplies. Our biggest project underway is the Arbuckle Reservoir. This reservoir will add up to 90,000 acre-feet per year to the region's water supply. Due to the ongoing drought, we're unable to complete the necessary refill testing by the end of 2024, as we hope we'd like to. But as of January 20th, we had 32,600 acre-feet in storage, which is about 76% full. And that has even grown since this was written 5 days ago. We expect Arbuckle to be in service in late spring 2025, subject to available flows and results of testing. In addition to Arbuckle, LCRA plans to invest about $174 million over the next 5 years for the development of other water supply projects. We're also planning to meet water needs decades into the future. We've analyzed our customers' needs through 2080 and are working to increase water supplies for the upper part of our basin by about 60,000 acre feet by the year 2040. Adding new water supplies is just part of the solution, though. We are also working to promote water conservation and instill conservation as a way of life. We will still need new additional supplies and additional conservation of supplies we already have. We're also continuing to make investments in rehabilitating or replacing the floodgate infrastructure at the dams that create the Highland Lakes. Since fiscal year 2010, LCRA has invested more than $187 million in capital projects at the dams along the Highland Lakes, Lake Bastrop, and Lake Fayette. This includes investments in the dams themselves and related hydroelectric infrastructure. We plan to invest an additional $96 million more in these types of projects in the fiscal year 2029 to bring our total investment to more than $283 million by that time. Let me switch gears about an exciting service we've added to our portfolio in the recent years, broadband. We currently own more than 2,700 miles of fiber. We plan to add additional fiber in the coming years. As a middle mile provider, we're helping connect Texans to interbroadband services that are vital for economic development, healthcare, government, services, and education in the communities LCRA serves. Our current fiber capacity, plus planned fiber capacity, could act as a middle mile to bring broadband services to more than 500,000 people in our region. We're also expanding our radio system, which currently covers more than 50,000 square miles and more than 50 counties. We're working to expand our coverage to 102 county service territory that can serve nearly 7 million people over 128,000 square miles. The expansion of our radio capabilities will allow LCRA to help meet the growing needs of the communities we serve and offer mission-critical communications to the region. And as always, we have a great park system. We have more than 40 parks, including 11,000 acres from Hill Country to the Gulf Coast. And since the start of the new year, our park system has been actively working on innovative initiatives to introduce the outdoors to new audiences. This week, even though it's 24 degrees outside, we opened our summer camp registration for ages 5 to 15. Summer will come and not fast enough. So we can offer youth across the Colorado River Basin educational fun at 3 different locations: Matagorda Bay Nature Park, McKinney Ruffs Nature Park, and Nightingale Archaeological Center. Giving back to these communities we serve is very important to us. Another way to do that is through our Community Development Partnership Program. This program offers grants of $50,000 to help support community improvement projects such as emergency equipment for first responders and improvements to fire stations, community centers, museum parks, and more. To date, we've awarded more than 2,093 grants totaling more than $53 million. When combined with more than $240 million in community-raised matching funds, the program has invested nearly $294 million in local communities. Our application portal is open for grant applications through January 31st. If you're watching online, please turn your application in. I also want to highlight Steps Forward Day, a day of service in which LCRA employees volunteer to work on projects in communities throughout our service territory. We've taken on projects such as cleaning parks, improving playgrounds, painting community buildings and athletic field equipment, and improving landscapes. We look forward to another great Steps Forward Day this April. To close, I'd like to remind everyone of LCRA's vision. We'll be the public utility that sets the standard of excellence, and I'm honored to lead this organization as we continue to find strategic and innovative solutions to help meet the needs of our growing state and fulfill that vision. Before I wrap up, one of our colleagues has taken on a brand new job. She's moving to Virginia, and that's a beautiful state. She's going to miss Texas. I can't thank Kristen Senecal enough for her leadership, her friendship, her commitment to excellence. Kristen shepherded this rate case and did it beautifully, and she's been a great teammate, a strong leader, and a dear friend. So let me give a round of applause for her. So she can't go away for too long. Come back and visit. And y'all please give some time and thank Kristen today. Her last day is February 14th, Valentine's Day Massacre, as I call it. But she's going to go up there, and I think you're starting mid-March. in March. So she's taking a little time before she might go. So as you wrap up today, spend some time with Kristen and thank her because she has been a rock star. And that, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, unless you have any questions, that concludes my remarks.
I didn't see it anywhere on the agenda that we voted to allow her to leave. That's what
Well said.
Well
said.
Since Tim's not here, I'll echo his words, Krista. We really appreciate your time here. My own motto in any business I've ever had is if you, all I'll say is that I hope that wherever you're going and what you're doing, if it makes you happy and it's what you want to do, then we're all in favor of it. So we wish you nothing but the best. So we don't want you leaving, but I guess we can't keep the ball and chain on you forever. So anyway, but thank you very much for your service and all you've done. You've been very instrumental in taking us to new heights. How's that? So thank you. And according to your comments, it doesn't seem like we have much going on. You made a comment we did yesterday in finance about getting some working capital loan, and the bank's not realizing exactly how big LCRA is, and it's become a behemoth. And everybody's leadership behind you with Phil and on, this just goes as testimony as how it's growing and continue to grow, and we're doing a great job with the citizens of Texas. So we appreciate it. So.